So how about that Star Trek? Particularly Deep Space Nine, which is what we're watching today. Some good episodes today. I mean, Resurrection. I don't know how I feel about Resurrection. It's kind of a weird episode, but you were cordially invited, and Statistical
Yeah.
Probabilities are both great. Yes, Mr. Sock, you are cordially invited. Everyone is cordially invited. In fact, everyone's cordially invited to Discord if people want to hang out and chat there. There's a nice little voice chat we got going on. DS9s are always a quiet day. There's always plenty of room. I guess people just really like TNG more. I imagine by the time we get to the least popular shows like Discovery or maybe Enterprise, it'll probably be pretty quiet. But that's okay. I'm happy to just keep going.
So far, me and Ryan are on the Discord. Usually, there's other people on now.
Yeah.
So far, it's just you and me. I
Just
wonder if
you
it'll
and
just
me.
be you and me for the. I wonder if it'll just be you and me for the whole stream.
Heaven's always here. Why aren't you guys here? Why
Yeah.
is it just us?
Come
Oh,
on.
there's
Oh,
Michael.
there you go.
Hi.
Guess they heard us. All right.
Here.
Oh.
Calm down.
Present.
Calm down.
All right, Peter. Is Peter here today? No, Peter?
Peter.
Yes, Peter.
I don't know who Peter is.
Soma is Peter, I believe.
Oh.
Peter Pettigrew. That's probably not his real last name, but he didn't tell me his real last name, so I'm just assuming it's Pettigrew. That's the only Peter I know. Actually, do I know any other Peters? No.
Maybe?
Let's see, Peter. No, that's not a Peter. No, I don't know another Peter. Very riveting discussion prior to the stream start. How many Peters do you know?
Oh, gosh. I don't know any in real life anymore, anyway. I knew
I
him
don't know any
in college, but I haven't talked to him since college.
Hey, Peter's just a dead name. There's no such thing as Peter. Only one Peter exists that any of us are aware of. Let's see. Is there any Star Trek actor named Peter? I don't think there's any characters named
I'm
Peter.
sure there is. No characters,
No.
but I'm almost certain
Oh.
that there's a Peter somewhere.
Oh! Captain Kirk's nephew was Peter Kirk,
That's
according
just
to Memory
funny.
Alpha.
But
Peter
he actually
Preston
didn't.
was Scotty's nephew that died on the Enterprise B, I think. That time when he
It
was like
was-
carrying the kid's corpse onto the bridge for some reason.
That was Wrath of Khan, so
Wrath
it was
of
the
Khan.
Enterprise. It was the original Enterprise.
Okay. Yeah, why did he carry the corpse onto the bridge? Why?
Good question.
Is that where they keep the bodies these days?
But
Yeah.
wait, he actually never played Peter Kirk, didn't he? Or was there an actor, a character named Peter Kirk?
We do see Peter Kirk in one episode, according to Memory Alpha. He's some kid that's... I'll
Oh,
just bring
God.
him up on the YouTube stream. There he is,
How
that's
could I
Peter
forget?
Kirk.
In Star Trek, we have Peter Weller. Not a character, but an actor. How could I
Is he
forget about him?
the evil guy from Into Darkness?
Yeah.
Okay. He's pretty cool. Other
Also
than evil.
RoboCop. He played RoboCop too, originally.
Oh, the guy who plays the guy in the neutral zone in TNG, who was like obsessed with his investments. Like, I must call my bank immediately. I have investments to tend to. That actor was Peter.
There are multiple Peters on the production staff.
However, this was
Yeah.
like the 60s to the 80s, so, Peter's now a dead name. There used to be such a thing as Peter. Also, 30 seconds to start, so everyone be queued up to DS9 Season 6, Episode 7. You are cordially invited. 20 seconds.
I'm wondering when we're invited. I'm wondering when we're invited to.
You're invited to a bachelor party and to a wedding.
I was
It'll be
going to say
lovely.
you're invited to.
All right, get
I
ready
was
to press
saying
play
invited
in
to
5,
Ryan's Discord.
4, 3, 2, 1, play.
I was gonna say you're invited to Ryan's Discord.
Yes, you are cordially invited to the Discord as well.
Cordially invited to
Cordially.
Ryan's Discord.
Oh, hey, Morn. Next week is a Morn episode, by the way. Who mourns for Morn? That should be pretty good. I think that's Morn's only episode. Yeah, we retook DS9. Everyone's nice and happy. Having a great time. Simply commanding wonderful Deep Space Nine. Are they going to mention the fact that Oda turned into a collaborator, or are they going to leave that out of the report? Think they're going to mention that? General Martok. Love General Martok. In fact, I watched a couple more episodes of Battlestar Galactica yesterday, and they mentioned a Martok Valley. I don't think we get to see Martok Valley, and I don't think Martok was there. But, you know, it's nice. What have you done, Cisco?
Cisco done.
Now,
Who's
Supreme
typing over
Commander.
there?
Supreme Commander sounds kind of like a. It doesn't sound like a real title. I don't think that's a real thing. Is there such a thing as a Supreme Commander in any human military?
Yeah. Supreme Commander of the Allied Forces.
I'm actually typing.
Yeah, what you typing?
I think it's Gyrates.
Supreme Commander of the Allied Forces.
Yeah, that's what General Douglas MacArthur was.
Well, General Douglas MacArthur has a dumb-sounding title. That just sounds silly, Douglas. Oh, I forgot we ever saw Alexander again. I thought he just ceased to exist after the last episode. Right, no, because he has to go to the path to Kalahaya.
Alexander again. Grown up Alexander.
Jesus, Alexander.
Yeah, it's Alexander.
Well, like they transfer all of their bad luck onto him, so they have good luck? Is that what they're talking about? Oh, there's a Benzite in the background, don't they? Aren't they supposed to have the breathing apparatus? In the background on the left. Or am I thinking of a different species?
Maybe different species.
Or is this a continuity error in my Star Trek? It doesn't look like Judzy is keen on that. I mean, they could... Well... They don't have to get married in the bar, exactly. They get married in a holosuite and, like, create something. It doesn't have to just be the bar.
Yeah.
That would definitely not be
I'm
something
Rebecca.
proud to show your family and your kids later. We got married at a bar.
I guess they could
for
get
years,
married in a holographic bar.
For years, I've wanted to create the hashtag Klingon Kegger, and now there's an actual application for it. The only problem for the characters is that there would be barrels involved.
Well, they do have a lot of barrels of blood. As long as the barrels contain blood wine, it's fine. Any other kind of barrel is the dangerous kind. General storage barrels are messed up. Wait, what's wrong with Cisco going to the academy with a benzite? What's wrong with that? Were there not benzites in? Oh wait, in TNG there was that exchange student. Was he supposed to be like the first benzite to ever work on a Starfleet ship or something?
Benzite sounds more like a mineral.
I mean, it might be a mineral, but it's also the name of like the catfish people.
Oh, those guys.
Yeah, the catfish with the breathing apparatus in their face sprays their atmosphere. I think it's methane into their noses. No, not. Wait, was it Mordock? No, what? Yeah, it was Mordock. There was Mordock and there was Mendon. Those are different people, even though they're the same actor. And Wesley got them mixed up. It's okay, Mendon wasn't offended. But then Wesley did turn a bit racist with like, how do you tell each other apart? It's like, you can't ask someone that. You can't say that. They can tell each other apart just because you can't tell them apart because they're different species.
You've seen one catfish, you've seen them all?
Apparently. I mean, I probably wouldn't be able to tell apart two different catfish, but I assume the catfish could tell each other apart. I feel like there's some character that says that humans all look the same too. The color of her shoes.
So Worf has been imagining his dream wedding for his whole life.
Ever
That
since he
sounds
was a
so-
little warrior on Galt.
Ever since he was a little boy. That sounds so anti-Worf. It's comical.
I mean, she's not wrong.
Yeah.
God, Worf is such a weeb.
Yeah.
I don't see too many turbulent scenes on DS9 as they went in TNG and Voyager. I don't know why there wouldn't be too many turbulent scenes on DS9. Did you ever notice that?
What kind of scene?
The turbulent scene.
Oh,
You know where they're going down the turbolift.
yeah, they do those a lot here.
I know they did a lot in DS9 and TNG. I mean, Voyager and TNG, but to me, I've never seen a lot on DS9. But I don't know. I must have not been paying attention either. A lot of times I don't pay attention.
So, if two Klingon men were to get married, do they go on the path to Kalhaya together, or do they have two separate Kalhayas? How many paths to Kalhaya are there?
All roads lead, all paths lead to Kalhaya.
I suppose.
I
Well, I
remember.
imagine Kronos isn't the most socially progressive place.
I remember some distant friend of mine who grew up. He had one gathering of all of his best friends at his place for the weekend or something, or they went off to some cabin. So they decided to call it. Bromageddon.
Oh. Why didn't they just call it Kalhaya? Or the Path to?
You put
Klingon
on
wedding
inches.
rituals are weird.
She looks like she's 7 feet tall.
I think that's intentional with that low camera angle.
Beatable Baggins.
That's a low camera angle.
He is going to endeavor to die. He's been trying real hard to die every single day. He just goes out and just attacks the Dominion with no thought to like the safety of his ship. He just goes right in. Why does she have a crown though? Or a tiara? Why does she have a tiara?
Oh, she was on steps. Good grief. First, I thought she was really that tall. Next, I thought she was just wearing 2-foot-high heels or something.
No, she's not actually 10 feet tall. This isn't Resident Evil. I mean, she's tall-ish, but she's not that tall. Okay, that was clearly just a standard plastic lighter that they spray painted bronze, but that's fine. Leave her alone, Worf. Won't she, though? I feel like she might reject someone because the welcoming candles were replicated. I mean, look at this chick. She wears a tiara everywhere she goes. She's all haughty. I'm pretty sure this is the only Klingon we ever see wearing any kind of jewelry. Unless you count the sash. I'm just waiting for her to go on about the sacred chalice of Kronos.
Are you looking for a challenge?
Challenge.
Calm down,
I
Cirilla.
just said that.
Ooh.
To make real Vahama candles. What is wrong with you, Cirilla? What did Jetsi ever do to you? She's a very mean lady.
I was just having a discussion with somebody yesterday how
On you,
the
lady.
very word alien is a completely relative term.
Yeah?
We don't think of it because we haven't really met others yet in real life, but yeah. But it's used, even in the Star Wars expanded universe, that humans call non-humans aliens, especially if it's some species they're not familiar with.
I mean, strictly speaking, two humans from different planets are also aliens. Like humans from Earth and humans that were born on the moon. Is the reason... Wait. So Vulcans are green-blooded, so their skin would naturally be tinted a little green, yes? Is the reason the Vulcans
Makes
are the
sense.
ones that made first contact is because of all the stories of little green men? Is there any relation there?
Make a note for future fan fiction.
I guess I could open up videoideas.txt and note that down.
It's actually a good one. How do Vulcans have green blood?
I don't know.
How do they make them?
Vulcans have green blood because their blood is copper-based, not iron-based like humans.
Yeah, what does Martok mean exactly by they say you have no sense of humor? Who are they? How many people are saying this? In a manner of speaking.
For a journey you won't soon forget, we're going to Disneyland. Gigantic drumsticks.
So Alexander is an 8-year-old at a bachelor party?
Yeah. Yep, a
Yeah.
Klingon bachelor party.
Hashtag Klingon Kegger. It's
Well,
a symbolic attack only. They're just gonna whiff them.
If Molor's troops were objecting to the wedding, I imagine it's going to be Sorella herself that's going to, like, come in wielding a batleth and start swinging. That's messed up.
Just sit there and not eat the food that's there for 4 days.
You could at least have told them so they could eat before. They probably starved themselves in preparation for this wharf.
Hope they can at least drink water.
Probably not.
I think competitive eaters will tell you it's not a good idea to starve yourself before eating a big meal.
Well, that's exactly what they're going to do. We're ready with the banner, boss. What you doing, Gyrants?
Oh. Damn it. Alright.
I think he's putting together an IKEA cabinet.
Is that true? Is there IKEA involved in this?
In his hollow suite.
Nope, there's no interruptions on the Patrical Hyatt, Jake.
Muffins. What? Grandma.
Do you suppose Klingons have strip clubs?
I
mean-
really don't want to think about that, I don't think.
I have
But go
thoughts on
on.
this involving pain sticks, but I don't want to elaborate.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'll just leave it at that.
All Klingon strip clubs are BDSM clubs.
Okay, anyway, how's the Patrical Hyatt going? Oh, look at all that food that they're not allowed to eat.
Or they won't eat 'em.
How about that BLT without the T? Just a regular
Yeah, I
BL.
was wondering where the T was.
No, I don't really go
The
for
T,
T. So I
the
just have
T can stand
BLs.
for toast.
True. So it's still a BLT, but then there should be an M in there because there's also mayonnaise.
The thing about okay, so at least in the United States, it used to be that the bachelor party was held the night before the wedding, but because that involves a lot of things that would make you not in your right mind when you wake up and whatever, really ill, it's been a more recent tradition to have the bachelor party or bachelorette party something like 2 weeks before the wedding, so that you don't have the pressure of the very next day you have to do the most important thing in your life, when you're not really of sound mind and body, so to speak, to do it. So you can enjoy it much more. You can enjoy each of them much more. But given that that this is a male bonding thing, I've not really been to a bachelor party like this, but I think I would probably like that kind of thing if it was not so extremely Klingon.
So normally the props that Jadzia is being made to hold up, I would assume they're just like made of foam, so she can hold them for a lot. But if you look at her arms, those look real heavy. She's putting a lot of effort into holding those things.
Maybe. She could be isoflexing,
Maybe.
but
Even
But they play
even
that
light
flex out anyway.
even light things when you hold them at full extension like that will make your arms tired.
yeah. But they won't make your muscles flex like that. Rawr. Also, since Terry Farrell's a model, you can probably see her muscle toning here.
She probably works out every day. When she's not casting. That could be an entertainment that I would think of.
Is this like a Klingon citizenship test? How many original colonies
Sounds
were
like it.
there? When did the Pilgrims arrive? Who is the second president?
Testing her.
So wait a minute. This is Worf's best friend's wife.
This is the
Well-
house of Martok's wife. He's part of the house of Martok.
Yeah, House of
No, he
Martok.
was-
So Jadzia needs to join the House of Martok, and to join the House of Martok, she needs to impress the Tiara Lady, and the Tiara Lady's all haughty.
Okay.
Which is really hard to pronounce without people thinking I'm trying to say something about her looks.
Yeah.
Yeah, haughty. Jax is just making this all up as she's talking here. Benara,
Jesus.
Sword of Benara
I mean, Dax,
by Terry Brooks.
I imagine Dax is probably right here, but are you sure that you want to be bringing this up?
To a Klingon woman who already hates you.
Dax is having a great time with it, but Dax, this isn't a good time to start antagonizing people for fun.
She should be like, you should really start liking me, or maybe I would release this information.
Blackmailing Sorella.
Yeah. Seems like a good idea.
Yeah, she's just mad at was brought up. Not Dax, the Klingon lady. She was mad that Dax brought this all up.
What debauchery do you imagine
You're so
Klingons even get up
disgusted.
to?
That they don't do out in the open.
Yeah.
The Trial of Blood. No, I don't
Reading
want rivers to
poems.
flow from my veins. I like my blood to stay right where it is, thank you.
Yep.
Is he
Maybe we should
sanitizing
just
that
hear
thing
him
between
screaming
slices?
right now. No, it's the future. They don't need to do that.
Do germs not exist in the future?
Everything is self-sanitizing. And he could cure anything you could catch, probably.
It's extra stainless steel. Oh, look at Morn dancing. Morn's into it. He's even at the front.
Now, is that Cisco doing the baton? I always thought it was Cisco.
No, that's not Cisco. That's a different person.
That's what I thought. Okay. Yeah.
Manuela Atoa. The Starship Sutherland. Why do I know the Starship Sutherland? Oh, that was the ship that
Okay.
Data commanded. with the racist first officer.
I always thought that was Cisco doing the baton.
Doesn't look anything like Cisco.
Do you suppose at the point they're filming this, they already failed to negotiate her new contract?
No, I don't think so.
I mean, they filmed them half seasons at a time, right? So I would imagine not.
She's dangling over a pit of coals. Oh, but it's fine. They can let go. They have chains holding them up.
Yeah.
I never noticed
I can
those
see
chains before.
clearly now.
Kill Worf.
That becomes their mantra for the rest of the ceremony.
Yes.
They're not
See-
going to kill more.
This whole path to Kyle High is just to inspire them to give a really good performance during the wedding when they're supposed to attack them with the sticks.
Maybe you're right. They actually called the police about the noise.
Come on, they could put a little insulation in the walls. We're in the future. You can make them like vacuum gaps.
No, he's not here. He's not here from his office. Someone's just reporting it from the other room.
You know how they always say that the Cardassians use super thick, what is it, geranium and everything? Or I imagine a really dense metal is going to conduct sound really well. It's like a big amplifier.
Well, we do know that Odo, when he has his quarters above Quark's room and he's running around as a mouse, Quark can hear it pretty clear.
Wouldn't a dense material, though, deaden the sound?
Sound
I mean,
is a
I-
mechanical wave, so in dense materials it moves faster than in air.
It's the nature of the material.
Wouldn't it
I don't know. I
take?
would hear,
Well,
I
yeah,
would
but
just hear that
density
noise
is
from
part
the
of
next room if I was there.
Put your
density of
ear.
the material is part of its nature.
Sound travels faster underwater too. So
Yeah,
put your
you're
ear
right.
against the.
Dax, leave him
against-
alone. You're getting married. You can't do that. That's illegal, Sorella.
Busy.
Jesus. I mean, I know Worf later used like the Klingon translation for that, but I didn't think they said the actual word.
Should make a good Klingon.
I think you failed the test, Jadzia. I don't think that worked.
Yeah. That was some big company. That's what everybody was staring.
What are they even doing? What kind of dance is that? They're making claws. They're doing Guinan claws.
Yeah.
That dance was apparently improvised by Aaron Eisenberg.
It's a Ferengi dance.
Hey. A Ferengi dance. Why is he still here?
Yeah.
Oh, wait. Are they done with the male bonding?
For now. Yeah, they get to go home at night.
Yeah, for now they're done. And O'Brien's writing got canceled and now Worf's.
Well, it wouldn't be a wedding episode. What am I trying to say? Episode? What accent did I just put on? It wouldn't be a wedding episode without some drama.
Sound like a country.
Now, now imagine if there was a pitch meeting for this episode. It was like, oh, how did they get over the fact that Odo was a collaborator? How did they get over their animosity for that? Well, by being off screen for several hours. It's like, oh, that's okay. That works.
Like at the party where you see the two people you always wanted to see hook up but never did, and then suddenly they're kissing behind a curtain.
He really just had no idea how to make Kira get over the fact that Odo's evil, so they just didn't show it. It's like, no, trust us. He had a really good reason, for sure.
Worf?
Tradition.
Doing what he does.
I mean, you say Odo's not evil. However, he did almost get Rom executed, and he also killed an entire colony, and he collaborated with the Cardassians to kill a lot of innocent Bajorans. So Odo's got some serious issues.
Would you say he's lawful evil or lawful neutral?
I would say lawful evil.
Hmm.
Because even when he's working with the good guys, he's trying to convince them to implement a martial dictator state. It's like, come on, why do we have to give people like freedom of speech? Why can't I just arrest everybody I don't like? How many times has he complained to Sisko about not being able to implement the security measures that he wants? Well, that's true.
So does this mean that they're still going to kill Worf? Or do they have more reason to kill him?
Now
or
they have
less now?
extra reason, yeah, because they did it all for nothing.
Yeah. Oh, but now they're just happy to eat, so they're over it already. They're fine.
This food, by the way, looks incredible.
What kind of food is it?
Future food, who knows? But it just looks really good.
I think
Probably
he
just
got a
stuff they took
steak.
off. Probably just stuff they took off the craft
potato.
services table.
Baked potato.
What if you just didn't have a traditional wedding? What if you just eloped? That would solve the problem, wouldn't it? I mean, you wouldn't be part of the House of Martok, but who cares?
That's exactly what she proposed, and Worf is like, no.
You have to choose, Worf. Would you rather be with Martok, your buddy, or would you rather be with Jadzia?
I mean, is there any question?
Martok's
Martok,
pretty
obviously. Plus, he always has 2309 blood wine. There is no finer vintage.
Imagine
Oh,
this:
yeah.
two Klingon men getting philosophical to each other about love.
And how Cirilla's
But all
actually a
the great
terrible
love-
person.
All the great love poems are in Klingon. Come on, man.
At least originally.
I love that word, mercurial. I have added that to my lexicon.
Hey. I like to think of myself as mercurial.
Are you prone to sudden mood swings?
No, but I do really like Mercury. It's very pretty.
Yeah, you can use it to make Terminators.
Wait, did he tell the Targ story already?
What's
About
that?
how
Babe.
Sorella just abandoned his pet dog, basically? Left him to die?
I think that was at the beginning of the episode.
Okay, yeah, Sorella's a terrible person.
Yeah, I think that was a conversation with Cisco
That's a
about how
big stake.
marriage is a war.
Sorry, boys, no refunds.
Oh, come on, now you're just taunting them.
Oh,
Ooh, I think that's the same
it's
plate
a
that I
running
have.
Gag now.
It's the same color, at least.
Just put them in the refrigerator until 3 days from now, unless there's going to be leftovers from the wedding reception.
And you just replicate. It only takes like 10 seconds. Except for the
Bring
juice,
the
which
food
is
back.
first squeeze, apparently.
Yeah.
So, yeah, do we consider the Klingon rituals non-canon from TNG? Because they do talk about Worf, like, reciting love poetry while she hurls heavy objects. That never happens.
That's only during courting. She's already courted.
They
We're
never threw
past
heavy
that.
objects at each other.
I assume it was off screen.
Kalar never
is,
threw a heavy object at him. Grilka never threw a heavy object at Quark. Oh, he
did
put on his
call him
extra deep
old
angry
man.
voice.
He's the captain. He has to raise his voice.
When Cisco starts enunciating this clearly, you messed up.
That is telltale, isn't it?
Dew.
Wait. You know better than this. Probably a huge amount of painful uh, uh, relatability to the audience with this episode.
You know,
So
I don't
sounds
think
good.
I've ever had to prove myself to someone's mom, basically.
Cisco's gonna be the Klingon because he was Sicilian. He'll be
Also,
good.
I feel compelled to point out for the YouTube chat that Cisco with a C is a router. It is an electrics company.
You've never known that in all the years that
No,
that Commander Cisco was even commander, let alone captain?
What?
no, someone in the chat misspelled it.
Sisko.
Oh yeah.
Then there's also a Cisco food, SYSCO.
And
You
then
can
there's
always-
the rapper, SISQO.
Cisco Technologies.
That's why you need to watch with subtitles, because this is Star Trek and you don't know all the names.
Yeah, you got to spell it in the actual Klingon in the subtitles.
No, wait, is my router a
I just
Cisco
wish-
router? What kind of router do I have?
I just wish that whoever does the subtitles would make up their mind if it's Quonos or Kronos.
Don't worry about it. It's both. It's a regional dialect.
It's
No,
it's
my
both
router
and
isn't
neither at the same
Cisco. My
time.
router is TP-Link.
Depends whether you're talking North American English or South American English
TP Link
And the
archers are
24
good.
in the 24th century.
Yes, it's a TP-Link AC1200 Archer C1200.
Yeah, that's one of the ones I was looking at when I upgraded my router.
My current router, I don't know if I would really recommend it because it needs like rebooting every other week. Otherwise, the internet just stops.
I heard a request for Voyager.
For Voyager.
Then
Yeah.
I'm glad I didn't go with the TP link because this one's been going since I bought it and I haven't had to reboot it.
Okay. Which one do you have? Maybe I should change to that.
It's an Asus ROG AXE 11000 GT or GT AXE 11000. It's expensive.
Oh, it's the one that looks like an evil, like Borg Nexus.
You're looking at the old one, I think.
The new one doesn't look like a villain's compound. Where would you keep your army of
The
evil?
new one, the new one, it's similar, but it doesn't have like that design on the top. It has the raw guy, but not that like conduit design. I don't know how to describe it, like the fractal paths or whatever. I'll link it to you.
Okay.
It's the 6 gigahertz version, which is probably a mistake, but
So are those outfits replicated, or did Garrick make them? I imagine Garrick made them, given that Worf has been planning this for months.
Yeah.
those they were in the Martok family for generations.
Ew.
Family heirlooms.
I hope they washed them. Well, actually, we're gonna learn in about 12 episodes that someone can oppose the beating of 2 Klingon hearts. Very easily, actually.
Hardly an inconvenience.
Yeah. Oh, Nog's wearing like a TNG dress uniform.
Hmm.
And I think he was in Operations Gold.
Well, yeah, he is.
I found we didn't see Nog on here, or did I just miss it?
Nog's here.
Okay. I must have missed him.
Yeah, he was only
mean,
on
I'm
screen for like a second.
He's
Okay.
always in gold, isn't he?
Yeah, his
Okay.
cadet uniform was red, but I think all cadet uniforms are red.
Okay.
And when he earned his commission, he was definitely ops.
The cadet uniforms on the Valiant have different colors.
Oh, do they? I was not remembering.
Yeah.
whether
They're
that was the case.
they're so excited to go beat Worf. Beat him up. Kill him. Kill Worf.
Does that make Worf Martok's son?
I'm not-
It's probably more like a brother thing.
Oh, we don't get to see it?
But if Worf is Martok's brother and Jadzia is Skrilla's daughter, that makes them some weird relation I don't want to think about.
Don't worry about
The
it. It's Space
closest
Alabama.
analogy, the closest analogy is stepsister.
So, So how did-
Stepsister, you're stuck in the airlock.
how did Jadzia get Cirilla to accept her? Well, by being off screen, so you have to accept it. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Alright, so the next
mean-
episode.
Go ahead, sorry.
The next episode is with Vedic Bareil and his abs. Go ahead.
I was just going to say that I don't think showing that scene of Jadzia apologizing does anything for the episode. So
No, I don't think it really matters. I'm just stealing lines from other Ryan. Alright, 1 minute to resurrection. I don't know, does Vedic Bareil, or, well, he's not Vedic Bareil, just regular Bareil. Do we get to see his abs this episode? I don't think we do, actually.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Oh, I'm scrolling ahead. We do. We totally do. Excellent.
Okay.
The cold opener of this episode is the beating sound of the sticks on Worf. They pick up right where they left off.
It's still going on 1 week later. They're still beating him.
Kill Worf. All right, 20 seconds. Everyone be queued up to Season 6, Episode 8, Resurrection. This is kind of a Mirror Universe episode. You can press play in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, play. So it's a Mirror Universe episode, but it's not in the Mirror Universe. Oh, Captain... Yeah, why not Captain Baudet? We love Captain Baudet.
But we have the best version of Kira.
What
in this
version would that
episode.
be?
The Mirror Universe version.
Ah. You're so close-minded, Kira.
Yeah, if you have a transparent skull, you're definitely more open-minded, aren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can always see what's on their mind.
You can see right through
The
you.
middle eye. Come on, 90% of the aliens in the galaxy look exactly like humans. You can pick one of them. Are they supposed to eat in ops? Why did Kira not have breakfast before this?
It's funny how she's complaining about how these guys look with transparent skulls and third eyes when she ends up with Odo, who has no real form at all.
But he can,
You're
if she
right.
doesn't like a certain number of eyes, he can just change his number of eyes. He can make his skull transparent or opaque as she wants. He can, adjust himself. Oh, there's Burial.
Dressed himself in any way appropriate or desired.
So what she wants is a customizable Ken doll, not a significant other.
So if you forgot, Vedic Burial, who she was dating before he died from having his brain replaced with a machine, basically, after an accident. He wasn't really a person anymore, and he needed to, finish some negotiation. So Kai Wynn was pushing him, and he ended up dying, and it was a whole thing.
It was a really horrible way to die too. It was
Yep.
It was really it didn't need to be graphic. It was just really agonizing, and it
was a lovely
just
existential
triggers
crisis
me.
of an episode.
Kind of like the ending of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, maybe.
They're replacing his brain piece by piece, and he wasn't feeling like he was even a person anymore, like he had no soul.
First, they needed to put him in stasis, and she wanted him ready for the negotiations, so they put him on an experimental drug, and then the experimental drug destroyed his organs, and then he get the organs replaced, then his brain started to go. Yeah, it was just horrific.
Like he could physically feel things with his weird robot hands, but he couldn't, feel anything emotionally at the end. All right, so we got the router. Now, it's true that this doesn't look as much like an evil villain lair, which honestly is a point against it.
Yeah.
If they're going with the evil villain layer, you should go all the way. Like this has some straight lines instead of the nice Borg internetworking.
Yeah. The primary difference between this and the other one is that this one has 6 gigahertz. You give up one of the 5 gigahertz channels for 6 gigahertz. So if you have 6 gigahertz device,
well, look at this one. Look at this other model. It's amazing. This looks so evil.
Yeah, that's what I ordered before I ordered that one, and I canceled it because this one
Why would
came
you
out like a
cancel
day
it?
later. Because this one came out a day later.
Okay.
That's just ridiculous.
It's amazing.
Plus, the other one has a big RGB logo.
Does Vedic Barile... He's not Vedic Barile, he's just Barile. Does Barile not even have a shirt, just the jacket, so we can see his muscular chest? I don't think he has a shirt.
No one can watch you. No one can watch their stream on YouTube.
Oh, right. Blur the screen, not the info. There we go. Directed by LeVar Burton. Interesting.
Hmm.
Also known as the man from Reading Rainbow.
I thought he was the guy from Roots.
Yeah, he was Kunta Kinte. Oh, sorry, Toby. His name was Toby. Could we just, like, transport Kira? She still has her badge, right? All the way to the top docking pile. Wait, that's not where they keep runabouts. What's it to do? Why is it on a docking pile?
No, they're doing it to delay. It's all a tactic to delay the hostage situation so that they can do something about it.
Okay.
It's a plot. It's not a landing pad.
Yeah, that's not... That's a docking pylon. That's not the same thing. The docking pylons are in the ring. Or not... That's the opposite of what I meant to say. The landing pads are in the ring.
It's also not a disruptor. It's a Bajoran phaser.
Also, why did she even go with him? That's not a good reason, Kira.
In the
That's a
mirror
terrible
universe,
reason.
the Bajoran phasers are disruptors.
Okay. Well, whatever.
Because they just kill.
It is Vedic Barile. God, even the mirror universe people wear their earrings on the right side. It's just Ro.
In the Pod Wraith cult.
Yeah, because, well, they're the same thing. She is a Paw Wraith cultist. The mirror universe. Not the alternate, mirror. Again, this is the problem with the universe. What if this Barile has a kid? Then that kid could not exist in the Prime universe.
It never made sense. Yeah.
There are so many issues with it. What is that supposed to be? Is that a transporter? Or is that...
Yeah, it modifies the transporter so that it works to transport between universes.
Right. But wait, in Tendon, Kira said all the transporters were modified, so that was impossible now.
Unless you have that.
I mean, they also had cloaking devices in the first Mirror Universe episode, and we've got one coming up where they don't, so.
Or they... Yeah, oh, they don't exist in that universe. What do you mean they don't exist? We've seen them. Or we haven't seen them, more specifically. How come people only meet their dead partners?
Mirror Universe Keiko is really nice and sweet.
Mirror Universe O'Brien still has to suffer. So Mirror Universe O'Brien isn't married to Keiko. So do Molly and Kiriyoshi still somehow exist? How does that work? That's another split in the Mirror Universe timeline.
Yeah.
I guess
Let's
it
be
works
honest,
very well.
none of it works very well. It's
No.
a story device, not a
Yeah.
science thing.
Don't worry about it.
You just need to you need to suspend your disbelief a lot. You need to take your disbelief out into the backyard and shoot it.
And why isn't Kai Wynn here like in an instant when she hears that there's a Bareil duplicate on the
Maybe
station?
they didn't tell her. If she knows the second they do, there's going to be an assassination.
Things are gonna go wrong.
Oh, why is
Mass
it so
Payne,
flashy?
Perkins,
Are Jem'Hadar susceptible to epilepsy, so that's a protective measure? Why is it so flashy on the promenade?
Isn't that Quark's? I think that's
It is.
Quark's entrance.
It
I
is,
mean,
and
it's
I
an
hate it.
attention getter.
It'd be too hard on the eyes for it to be flashing like that. Especially for people that may have sensitivity issues.
Oh, do you want to hug Bareil? No, Bareil doesn't want to hug.
In the future, they have cured epilepsy.
Maybe in the future.
I think they have some pretty good treatments for it even now.
You can't sit there, Oh, you're just making that lady move? That's not very polite of you, Bareil. She was sitting there. Get your own spot. So is he like sitting up in a different way, or is he actually 2 feet taller than everyone else in the room?
He's sitting.
Oh, only part of the Bajoran ceremony is in Bajoran. It's now English.
Of course. Well, if we had the whole ceremony in Bajoran, we'd have to make up more words.
If this is like a typical Bajoran service, how do they do it where they don't have orbs? Because there's only a handful, right? And they used to be like secret.
So the prophets don't work with the mirror universe?
I don't think they've found the wormhole in the mirror universe.
Yeah, no, they haven't.
Well, like they haven't sent orbs,
Which is-
so he doesn't know what they are.
Which is strange that they can travel between the mirror universe station and this station because they're in completely different positions. And I don't think a Cardassian transporter has that type of range. You should make a video about how this episode couldn't happen. He would just transport into the vacuum of space where the other station would be.
Didn't they
That's
move
also
the
an
other
issue with
station?
all the time travel episodes, because like stars are moving real quick.
They moved this station. They didn't move the other station.
I'm not sure, but I think that the other station is out in space, just like this one, after the first Mirror Universe episode, because I think the battle that the Defiant, takes to the Alliance happens out in open space. Also, Bajor is still part of the Alliance, so like the station being right next to Bajor in the Mirror Universe would be bad.
But the station was.
I don't
It's weird
remember.
seeing
I don't
Worf
remember
just
where it
wearing
is in the last episode we saw.
Just wearing a regular shirt and pajama pants.
The episode where they first beam Cisco back over to rescue Jennifer, O'Brien beams him over on a fighter. It's not the station, so it's in the right position. But I don't know about later episodes.
We'd have to
Is
examine
that
it.
is that a cake? Is that a big cheese wheel? It's Jello.
That's Joe?
I mean, I don't know if it's Jello brand specifically, but it's some kind of.
Yeah. Sounds like red cheese to me. Even though you can see the shell on the inside.
It's 2309.
Okay. I think I saw his trophy from that tournament from Parallels, where he won champion standing. I put a shirt on Barile.
There's a shirt on.
I mean, it could be worse. It could be Ricardo Montalban.
Yeah. What is with him?
They had a plastic chest for Wrath of Khan.
Did he actually?
Mm.
I wouldn't be surprised.
I'm pretty sure it was a plastic chest.
How come they didn't give Barile a plastic ripped chest if we're doing that?
Yeah, you can see it's clearly like a different color than the rest of his skin.
Now I have to look him up. Let's see. What's his name? Khan Star Trek chest.
Just do Wrath of Khan chest. Yeah. Oh, someone made a T-shirt of it. That's awesome.
Well, I found a picture of them painting his muscles on.
His muscles got made
Ever
out.
2000.
Right here. There he is.
I mean, he's probably touching up the scratch.
Yeah.
On the prosthetic chest.
It wasn't a prosthetic.
Really?
Yeah, that was his real chest.
I don't know.
Yeah, they used the aber. It's like strong bad.
No, that is a common Star Trek myth. It is. People think it was a prosthetic because it looked so good, but really, Ricardo Montalban was just that healthy.
Well, you've clearly researched this much more than I have, so I defer to your expertise.
I am that kind of Star Trek nerd. Sorry.
He is the expert on
Ricardo Montalban's
Ricardo
chest.
Montalban's chest.
I mean, I'm not ashamed to say that. It was a magnificent chest.
How does it compare to Barile's chest? We can see it pretty clearly. Not in this particular shot, but it's not nearly as, like, voluptuous.
Barile is the actor, I should say, is a healthy and fit individual.
He
I
is.
don't think that it quite compares to Ricardo Montalban, though. Ricardo Montalban's chesticles were amazing.
Chesticles.
Uh-huh. That's the technical term.
Oh.
All right, Kira, good job. You got your dead boyfriend back. It's not exactly the same, but you're probably going to treat him as exactly the same, I imagine.
I hope.
Didn't Cisco explicitly warn her about this exact scenario?
Yep. Don't worry
Okay.
about it. I mean, she insisted she knew it's not Vedic Barile. What I mean, of course she knows that, but is that what it feels like?
Dating Kira just always results in a bad end. Don't do it.
So yeah, this is the one time we get to see his abs in this episode. Which, in this particular position, I'm not sure those are actually abs or like folds because he's leaning in a way. Or both. Oh, Vedic Morale wears a t-shirt. You can see where his skin turns darker, sort of in the upper arm.
I feel like they put makeup on his nipples to make them less, I don't know, pronounced.
No, that I don't think they did that.
I think they did.
Yeah, I'm looking through. So season 4, episode Shattered Mirror, where Jennifer kidnaps Jake essentially, so they finish the Defiant. All of the exterior shots of Deep Space Nine are of it out in space and not in orbit of Pajor. So they moved it at some point.
All right, I'm gonna defer to our resident chess expert. Do you think those nipples have been touched up?
Oh God, I don't know.
Those look
Maybe.
like regular nipples to me. I don't think with the makeup that they would have added in that line.
They put like mattifier on it. They had to have.
They might have. You know, they were still shooting with film at some point. At this point, rather. So I don't know what they were looking at as far as lighting and everything goes. But if it was serious enough that they, you know, there was some kind of glare or something that they needed to take care of, they might have done something. But the lighting isn't very harsh in those quarters, so I doubt.
How often with soft lit bedrooms do people worry about the glare off people's nipples? You know what? No, I don't want to have this conversation anymore. I'm done with this conversation actually.
Like I said, it's not harshly lit in any way. So like there's probably no reason. But I can imagine that in just about any situation, there's reason to put makeup on somebody's body in some way. I have seen behind the scenes shoots where people are putting makeup on parts of the body that you never thought they would ever put makeup on. So, you know, it's possible, but I think it's unlikely in this situation. And also, my expertise regarding Montalban is because it became like part of the popular Star Trek mythology that he wore a prosthetic and he didn't. That's the only reason I know about that.
Well, the thing about it being his real chest is if you believe the story and it was his real chest, then that's all you need to know. And if you don't believe it, then he was just a man. And it doesn't matter if it was his real chest or not.
I thought it was his real chest.
Insert GIF of Captain America saying I understood that reference.
Good. It's a very romantic shrine. They're going to have a private viewing with the orb of something. Do we know which orb it is yet?
Khan's chest
Prophecy
isn't
and Change,
just
I believe.
Khan's chest isn't just any chest. It's Alpha Ceti 5's chest. Okay. I'm not, but the prophets will.
They're going to judge you real hard. You're not really helping Kira. Does he stare into the orb or not?
Why do they call them orbs when they're clearly hourglass shaped?
Don't worry about it.
Who named these things?
Orb is a Bajoran word that we don't actually understand. It just
of course.
happens to be a phoneme of an English word.
Is this the same actor that we've seen on season 1?
Yeah, that's the same guy.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
Okay.
No.
So
it's not the same
he's
actor.
pretty much in everything. Huh? That
They found
Yeah.
someone who looked exactly like him.
No, we know that's not the same guy because this guy isn't a prophet, whereas the first guy in the first season was absolutely a prophet trying to.
Wait, are we
assist
talking
us.
about the Vedic or are we talking about Burial?
Oh, I thought we were talking about the Vedic.
No,
I thought we were talking about Burial.
No,
Oh yeah, that's Philip Anglin. It's the same actor.
Oh, okay.
Hera is also the same actress as
Why
season
did
1.
they show his vision?
Because
Thank
it's
you,
probably going to
Ryan.
be spoilers for the reveal that happens in about 5 minutes or less.
The twist.
The twist. Yeah, real Baral. Well, original Baral. He had a lot of visions too from the orbs, and they were all kind of weird and Kira related. And then Kira had visions, and they were all weird and Baral related.
It's the prophets were shipping them together,
They were
obviously.
Yeah. Prophet just looking down from the sky. Hey, you should kiss. Just leave him alone.
They just pick up their action figures and just smash them together. That's what they're doing.
Can't believe Vedic Barile actually looked into the orbs, asking like, "Does she like me?"
Well, I mean, they did the same thing with her and what's his name, Shakar. That's the reason they broke up.
That's not what Vedic Barile said, Kira. He was trying to share your orb experience. He wanted to know about it. He told you about his.
Well, they both lied to each other, I think.
They did.
She lied about it not having him in it, and he lied about it not having her in it, didn't he?
Yeah. No.
So there you go.
No, I think Barile told her that she was in it. He didn't mention the exact nature of it, but she was in it. I think. It's been a while.
See, that's why we got what start at the beginning again. Once we finish it, it's all new again.
By the time we finish all the other series, it will be new again. Basically, it'll have been years.
Everything will be new.
Are you ready for the twist? How twisty!
What a twist!
It's not Kara.
What do you mean? It is Kira.
It is, but it's not the same one.
It's the better version.
I don't know. I don't think that I could just hang out with this Kira.
I wouldn't want to hang out with her either. With that Kara. Scary.
This Kira just wants to kill people.
They should have set her up with Gul Dukat. I mean, they would have gotten along famously. Mirror Universe Kira and Prime Universe Gul Dukat.
Then Marco Limo would have gotten what he wanted.
Mm-hmm.
It's a bad evil Kira.
Do we even see Dukat in the Mirror Universe?
No.
Nope, just Garrick. He's the only named Cardassian, I believe, in the Mirror Universe.
Okay. What are you doing, Nana? Having a great time is what she's doing, apparently. She's kind of crazy, too.
I don't know about this Kara. She's evil.
It was a trick.
An evil trick.
All along. Whenever someone's asking you to tell them about your other previous love interests, it's always a trick.
He's just tired. Leave him alone. Can't a man
Evil
get some
Kara.
sleep? Oh, he had a religious revelation. And he knows that he has sinned.
For all that sin that for all that sin that comes purgatory.
But tomorrow... What is he tomorrow?
Oh, what did she do?
Do they...
What did she do tomorrow?
Do the Bajorans in the Mirror Universe even care about the orb? I don't think the prophets talk to them.
She wants to bring it, right, to unite the whole planet.
Well, why would they care?
I don't know,
How's
maybe
the
they'd
orb
start
even supposed to
caring.
do anything? Are they going to talk to the prophets in another universe? Does that work?
Maybe. Maybe the prophets from this universe will talk to that universe, and they'll be like, "Oh, another Bajor. We're of Bajor."
A
If the
trans-dimensional
prophets,
prophet union.
yeah, I was gonna say, if prophets are already extra dimensional, wouldn't they already know of all the Bajors?
Well, not
They
necessarily.
do say they are of Bajor. They're not of a Bajor. They're of all Bajors.
All Bajors.
Yeah, I'm not convinced this plan is going to work.
Yeah.
I imagine if they actually successfully transported it and they looked into it, it just wouldn't do anything.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, Morn.
Grumpy Barile.
Yep.
Drunk Barile.
Was Reddick Brile really that popular?
He was gonna
Well,
be
he was.
Kai.
Yeah, he was up for election.
Anyways, but
No, alternate changelings aren't good guys either. At least not Odo. Odo is even more of a fascist in the Mirror Universe.
Odo's dead in the Mirror Universe.
He was more of a fascist. Until he exploded.
Bashir zapped him into dust, into gack.
That's a fun scene.
One of
Without
many
even a
ways
second thought,
found
he
his guy.
just shot him. No hesitation.
Well,
I mean, Bashir's a cold, hard motherfucker.
Bashir doesn't really have friends. Just because he looks like Odo doesn't mean he is Odo. And even if he was Odo, it's more convenient if he's out of the way.
He wants to set up a Santa Claus photo op with Barile, fake Barile.
Oh, is he gonna grab Quark by the chest? Not the chest, the collar.
he's drunk.
Come on, grab the collar. That's what you do in this kind of scene. Subtitles say mirthless laugh.
Drunk Barile.
Why grab the collar when the ears are there?
Because the Ferengi make it weird.
Yeah.
Sparkles.
No,
You'd probably
not a
hurt a
single
lot if
collar
you picked up
grab.
a Ferengi by their ears.
Done for a while.
Oh yeah, and Mirror Quark is also dead. He got executed.
But
For
yeah, he was
helping
like the first one to
Terrans
die.
escape. Yeah.
With so
He
many
was like-
characters dying in the Mirror universe, it's a wonder it somehow keeps bringing up the same people having children.
Mirror Quark was actually like a good person,
Yeah.
like a shockingly good person.
He was helping the Resistance. Oh, those pads use an e-ink. They don't have to deal with glare. It's just... It's,
Looks like it was printed on an inkjet printer.
yeah.
Probably was.
Mhm.
No, I think those are the same pads. Those are just bigger, if you know what I mean.
Whatever happened to Shakar again? Is he also dead?
No, they
just broke
Up,
up.
and he's now the first minister.
Okay.
We just never see him again.
That's fine. He wasn't
one of
that
those-
interesting.
Don't worry about it moments. Well, he's
I
trying to
just
get them to
assumed-
stay together so he can exploit him for
Yeah.
profit.
I just assumed that all of Gear's love interests have died.
Just about.
One of the tormented. Has he? When did that happen?
When he got the
Oh.
new rules of acquisition.
Yeah. With the... And Prophet Ram was like, did the Cisco send you? The Cisco told us about the Ferengi and Prophet. How much would you
The
take
Zek.
for an orb?
Weren't they calling him the Zek? The
The Zek, yeah.
he Quark uses the same argument that Riker used with the planet that didn't want to communicate with outsiders, as an xenophobic planet. He's like, yeah, if you change me and send me back, then more Ferengi are gonna come and want to find out what happened. There's gonna be Ferengi here every day. And they're like, oh god, we don't want that.
Fine, if we change you back, well, just leave us alone, Jesus. Or not Jesus. Jesus is Cisco.
Us.
Oh, Cisco.
Would you just leave us alone? Us.
When Jesus was exasperated, did he say, oh, me?
Yeah.
Maybe.
How come... Here's a question about real life. So people say, like, oh, Jesus, all the time. I've never heard anyone say, like, oh, Muhammad or oh, Buddha. I've never heard that.
Well,
I haven't heard that either.
If you say "Oh Muhammad" in Islamic cultures,
Is that blasphemy?
probably a limb or potentially a head.
yeah, you have to say like Muhammad, peace be upon him.
Yeah,
It's more of a mouthful. It's harder to use as an expletive. It's much more. I mean, that's blasphemy either way, but
I mean,
it's much
Buddha
more
would work,
serious
though.
blasphemy.
That's the Spanish part.
Buddha wouldn't care.
Yeah.
he wouldn't. Neither would Buddhists, to be honest with you. They don't really have a whole lot to say about.
So it wouldn't be any fun, right? It wouldn't be subversive.
Right.
That's the Spanish word because I don't. That may be why it's not used a lot because only Spanish people can use it.
What?
For people that are not Spanish, they will not use that word. Evil Kara.
How come nobody says, "Oh Zeus"?
Eh,
Never heard that word before.
Does anyone still believe in
Zeus?
Zeus? Is that an extant religion?
I would assume.
There's a few people, but I doubt it.
A very small religion, maybe.
Why isn't Kara all that? Why isn't Kara all mattered up?
Because that's real Kira.
Oh, this. Okay. She looked kind of mean for a minute, so I was like, "Where's the matter, Kara?" Like she was trying, like she was like transforming the real Kara.
She'll be here in a minute.
You know, 2 Kiras are
There
better
she
than
is.
1.
2-1.
There's Mirror Kira. You can tell it's Mirror Kira because she sways her hips as she walks.
Mhm.
Whereas real Kira just walks like a normal human being. Except a
2-1
real
Kira.
Bajoran being.
A real person?
Like, look at how much she's leaning. Just all the time.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
She's gonna give herself back problems if she's like that 24/7.
Yeah, maybe. Did she change again? It's the same uniform. It's the same. It's the same uniform that the real Kara would wear.
Yeah.
That's. Why does it seem better?
Oh, wow. We have 2 Kiras and a split screen, and the camera was moving. So I guess the Kira on the left isn't actually Nana Visitor right now.
That could be done with motion control.
It could be. But it was the 90s.
Motion
probably-
control was invented in the 70s, though.
They could do it. I'm just wondering if it would be easier at that point to do just a stand-in. Since it was a reverse shot anyway.
There's that one episode where they're evacuating the station and they have her seen from the back and it's clearly a stand-in. They're getting on the runabout.
Antos? Who calls him Antos?
No, she said eagle.
Finally, someone used gun on problem. Thank you, Antos.
Eagle, not eagle.
A great Buddha. Someone finally used the gun. There's a distinct lack of people shooting each other in these shows.
Well, I've got news for you.
Oh, we're going to get a lot of
That's
shooting
gonna
coming up.
change.
However, we're also going to get a fair bit of Jem'Hadar being terrible at shooting.
Yeah, a race specifically bred to be the ultimate warrior is pretty much shit at being a warrior.
They're like B1 battle droids. You have a lot of them, but they're terrible at their job.
They can go invisible. Like, they have every advantage.
No, let's just charge headfirst at the enemy and try and bludgeon them with the gun. Bloody worthless.
They have bayonets. Tells you all you need to know about their combat philosophy.
I don't think they even have bayonets, do they?
Yeah,
Normally they just hit people with
sometimes-
the butt of the gun.
And they have those like what would you call it? What's the word I'm looking for? It's like a pole arm
Spikes?
almost.
Oh, right. They,
They
have
have
a
those-
halberd.
Halberd, yeah. But they're short. Like they're real short.
Oh, look, there's a Jaeger in the background because it's the, same shot that we always get. And the Jaeger's gone.
Thank God.
Yeah, that episode is fine. It was kind of weird, but it was fine. The next one, though, is pretty good. Statistical Probabilities. Just put that title up. Make sure I spelled that correctly. Statistical Probabilities. Yes, good. And 1 minute to Statistical Probabilities with the mutants. Again, I've mentioned this many times. It's not Admiral Patrick. It's just regular, everyday Patrick.
That's a stupid question.
No, he's not going to be saying anything about stupid questions today. However, he is going to cause several people to commit treason. So, that's something. Yeah.
Attempted treason.
Yeah.
Light
How far into
treason.
the episode do we get the treason? Is that like 3/4 of the way or halfway? How soon do we get treason?
It's almost the end.
It's only suggested treason, though. At least from Bashir.
Implied. Inferred treason.
All right, everybody press play in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, play. I remember that the other mutants... Oh, there's a Jaeger.
Is that a Jaeger? I don't think so.
It had an Intrepid saucer.
I think that was an Akira.
Star Trek Akira class. Let me remind myself what that looks like. No, that wasn't an... Well, unless there were 3 shots... There were 3 ships there. You might have been looking at a different one.
I was looking at one on the left.
The one on the far left was absolutely... Dang it, now I have to look at it again. But I'm pretty sure it was an Intrepid saucer.
It's a certain angle of the Akira. It's like you're seeing it almost side on.
Star Trek Deep Space Nine, Season 6. Let me open this up. Statistical Probabilities. I don't know.
Look at the nacelle. It's got that extra segment. Here we go. Here's a really good image you can use to match it up.
All right, I guess that's an Akira. Where did that lady even... Oh, that's a pad. I thought that was a framed picture of Dr. Bashir. What is he wearing in that picture? Why? The uniform is red.
I think it might just be lighting.
The inkjet printer they used to print that was running low on
blue.
So it's all hue shifted red.
Turquoise ink is not available. Please. How did that happen?
He stomped on it and broke the glass.
Oh.
What's surprising is that they're actually using glass.
Yeah, you'd think they would use something that wouldn't shatter very easily.
It's transparent ceramic.
Well, they legit are using synthetic sapphire for some cell phone screens, and that's literally transparent aluminum. So,
well,
aluminum oxide.
In Generations, the Enterprise D top bit shatters like glass.
The dome.
Yeah, the dome
On the bridge.
The skylight.
Yeah.
I don't know
The
why it has a skylight,
The
but it has a
space light.
skylight.
It's so that you can pan into the ship from above, like they did in the original series, and then they never did it.
Yeah, they don't do that.
I think that they said, what was his name? Andrew Probert. He said that that the idea was that when they would approach something and you'd see it in the view screen and you'd see it through the dome, you'd get an idea of the scale. But again, they didn't really ever do that. Yeah.
Well, that's too bad. As it is, it's just there to provide some ambiance. But everybody
The
likes
interview with
ambiance.
him is really interesting because he talked about how in depth he went into designing the ship, and then they like never used 3/4 of all the stuff he built into it.
Like those storage containers along the walls.
The storage containers, storage, the cargo bay doors on the bottom of the saucer and the bottom of the primary hull,
Sort
and the airlocks that are on deck 2 that pop up out of the saucer section. I think they were actually on the physical model and they just never used them.
Speaking of airlocks, I still dislike the fact that they never just vent the air out of places with intruders. It seems like the obvious solution. And then they finally did it in Discovery. Finally. For the first time in all of Star Trek, someone broke into the ship and they're like, no, just remove the air. It works. Just space them.
Well, if you want to take the easy way out, you know.
Actually, no, they did it on Enterprise once with some Borg. Yeah. It was a
spaced a bunch
shame in
of
Discovery
Borg
that they
in
only opened the
Picard.
door like a crack. They could have vented it a lot faster, I think.
Well, they opened up the shuttle bay in Disaster to put out the plasma fire.
But that's not to,
Remember
like,
that?
suffocate people. That's to suffocate a fire. I'm looking to suffocate people with that.
Well, they did suffocate
It did
people
the same thing in Cause and Effect, finally.
as a byproduct.
Open up yeah.
I'm just thinking how an FTL, that, like, 2D strategy starship game, the solution, literally anytime you have any problem on the ship, is vent the air. Use the doors. It's so effective. What you do is you lock all your people in the med bay, open every single other door on the ship, including the airlocks, and just wait for them to suffocate as they try to desperately break through the blast doors leading to sickbay.
we create a new sick bay.
Sing El Bashir. Who's Sing El Bashir? Sing El Bashir.
They just
Google, tell me
picked
things.
a couple of parts of his actual name and strung it together with his fake name and created an ancestor.
So I looked up Sing El Bashir, and all that's coming up is Deep Space Nine. Did they just make up someone from the 15th century? They could have just chosen a real person. I'm pretty sure there are people in real life that could do that. Are they mutants? Can you guys take the cube root of a large number in your head?
There was an interview with him about this, and he said that he hated this whole idea.
Didn't he say
He felt they're trying to make him.
Didn't
They
he
just
want to like
delivered it as
deliberately ruin
plainly
the
as
scenes
possible.
that were mutants?
Yeah. He said he would just deliver the lines as plainly and emotionless as possible and quiet and
Out of spite.
yeah.
That guy's like very hyper.
Is Patrick even a mutant? He's just like emotional. Why is he kept in an institute?
Wonder if he had too much coffee. Didn't he have too much coffee?
No, that's just the way he is. That's just him.
The way he talks, or is that the way he talks only on DS9?
No, the actor I'm sure is perfectly normal, not very jittery. He's just acting. He's doing his job.
I know, but the way he was sounding, I mean, it's funny.
Poor Odo doesn't get to sit on the couch. But there's room on the couch. There's a third spot there.
Last time he sat on the couch, there was a stain. We don't talk about it. Just avoid it.
Well, if that stain is part of Odo's goo, does that mean the stain is sentient? Is it alive?
I don't know. Remember when he gave the sample to Bashir and he's like, I want this back. And do you think that he then like recovered all the experiences of that piece of goo while it was being run through all the tests?
Probably. Also, is Odo actually sitting on a chair, or is that chair also just more Odo?
That's a good point. Chodo. Odo doesn't need to bring a chair anywhere. He just has his own chair. Chair Odo.
I think Odo, like from his neck down, should just be this big cone that sits flat on the floor. And he just turns back into a person he wants to walk. He'd be very comfortable.
He should be like the guy in what you call it? The one with the guy from Family Guy. What's that show?
The Orville?
The Orville, thank you. Oh my god. I was having a brain fart. The guy that's voiced by
Seth Mc... Are you talking about Japheth, the goo person?
The goo person, yeah. Norm Macdonald, right?
Norm Macdonald. Yeah. It's... I can't remember what the goo is called, but it's something having to do with Star Trek, as I recall.
Last week or whatever.
Yeah, that's not a great line there, Worf. You're an exception. You know, I might hate everyone that's like you, but you're cool. It's not very nice.
Well, Worf had to kind of live that, being the only Klingon in Starfleet, being, raised on Earth, the only Klingon.
Do they need to get access to the comm system? Is it not like the Enterprise where they can just access it for free?
Oh, it can be accessed anytime.
No, on the station you gotta pay for calls, so he actually called them collect. It's like, you were receiving a collect call from Jack! Did you accept the charges?
Are you sure he wasn't receiving a call from Bashir, come down to the cargo bay?
I don't know.
Perfect. I added baby, it's a boy.
That's not very polite, Jack. That's illegal. You can't do that.
Oh.
Is it illegal in space?
Well, Cisco does yell at Worf for trying to stab someone, so I assume that's on the same level as snapping their neck. Well, not trying to stab someone, for actually stabbing someone.
Who did he... Oh, when
His
he
brother?
stabbed his brother? Well, he killed his brother. Or
No, he didn't kill him.
almost killed his brother.
He tried to. You tried to commit premeditated murder.
Oh, is that what?
Cisco is
the
not
episode?
very tolerant of Klingon beliefs.
I think it might have already gone mad, Jack.
Yeah, that ship has sailed, Jack.
That's your whole character as you've gone mad.
Mad Jack. Angry Jack. Angry
How does-
Jack.
How does Patrick know this? I mean, I know he's supposed to be genetically engineered to be smart, but does he? He still needs to know stuff about engineering, right?
Well, if you have really good problem solving and reasoning skills, you could reason what's causing the problem. And
Well, sure,
work
but I'm just
backwards from
wondering
there.
how he knows about the plasma flow system in the first place. Freedom, justice, and security for our new empire. It does seem a bit odd that Damar is in control of Cardassia now. He wasn't actually important before. He was basically just Ducat's secretary.
Well, the Dominion thinks they can control him. That's what they want. It's just a puppet.
Not your daughters, though. They don't allow women in the Cardassian military.
Oh, there's Cardassian women in the Obsidian Order.
True. It's just the writers patting themselves on the back.
Yeah. Little self-insertion there.
I've noticed that in a few different shows. Where I was like, oh, that story you just told me where you relayed the last 4 episodes. That sounds really exciting and intense and epic.
Wait to eat, buddy, or you want to eat now?
Yeah. It's been in Sherlock Holmes where someone's talking about I think it's a story about someone who threw his teeth at his wife, his dentures at his wife, and someone remarks, that's, so remarkably weird. No person could possibly have written it.
Wow,
It's
that's
like,
so clever.
Yeah, it's the whole truth is stranger than fiction argument. But yes, very self-congratulatory.
Yeah, I haven't reached that story. I was talking like a few months ago about how I was reading through Sherlock Holmes. I only got like halfway through. I didn't finish it. I should probably get to the rest of that. Oh, good job, Ben. Does it count as ringside seats if you're watching a live stream?
So Siddig said that he delivered these lines as plainly and poorly as possible, but I really can't tell the difference.
He seems to be doing fine.
Maybe he means he did that in the first few takes and they told him to knock it off.
Well, no, I'm just saying that's
You're just saying he's a
indistinguishable
bad
from his
actor?
normal delivery. A little bit.
Well, that's not very nice of you. Insulting Siddiq al-Tahir al-Fadl Abdurrahman Muhammad Ahmed Abdul Karim al-Makdi like that?
He might send his royal guards after me.
Okay, I'm pretty sure this is a holosuite. Okay, good. Native language mode. Please tell me that's not the name of the actual language, Dominionese.
Do you remember in the original series they called it Klingonese and not Klingon?
Klingonese. They also call humans Earthers, at least once.
Yeah.
TOS is a weird series. Wait, what? They're still in the cargo bay. How do they have hollow emitters in the cargo bay? When did that happen?
They installed them. O'Brien installed them. It happened
Just for
off
them?
screen. Don't worry about it. Yeah.
Things have to happen off screen.
The Cabral system. How does she know this? Like, no matter how smart you are, you still need to, like, see a survey of the planet. How does she know any of
I
this?
think it's implied that she read it.
So Serena's going to be brought back for her own episode later on. And I remember they were thinking about recasting her because they needed someone who could sing. And it turns out that this actress knows she's actually a really good singer, so it worked out. They brought her in for another audition and she nailed it.
Does she sing in the next episode? I mean, next episode she appears.
Yeah. The next episode is
Oh.
all about that she's in is all about getting her to talk.
Yeah, right. Okay.
Okay, so the Dominion is thinking long term, like is Cabral going to be useful in a decade? Whereas Julian here is thinking, is Cabral going to, would it be better to give it to them now? He's not thinking about the long term. He's thinking, if we don't give it to them, they'll attack now and kill us. They're working on different time scales here. That's not a good answer.
I was gonna say he's um he's bi he's biology technic he's biotechnical engineer. You can get things done. I just wonder if he was just smart in real life or if he's just smart as a character.
I don't think he's genetically modified level of intelligence. I'm sure he's a reasonably intelligent man.
Genetically, that's the word I was trying to find. Okay. Genetically engineered.
All those admirals, but we have an admiral right here. Well, at least Patrick's having a good time. He's not depressed today. Why aren't you going to dance with Jack? What's wrong with Jack? Patrick would dance with you, Jack. Do you want?
Jack kind of comes off serial killery.
Oh, actually, look at Jack's facial hair. That's kind of the facial hair that I had before. It was just the mustache and the chin, and it's not great, Jack. It looks better on him, actually. He pulls it off better. But full beard is what you need.
Do you have black hair and is it short, Ryan?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Looks like me.
Same color as Jack's. Chief, would you care for a dance?
I'm blessed with a beard that would make a Klingon proud.
Yes, it's a very long and majestic beard. Meanwhile, I'm thinking it's like, oh, mine's getting to like 20 millimeters. I need to cut it down. It's getting a bit excessive. Oh, don't make Patrick sad. Be nice to Patrick, Miles. Chief. It's okay. You can go play with your friend.
Go play with her girlfriend.
At least they're so understanding. Nothing. Chief. Making excuses. Oh, and poor Bashir still has to play from the doorway. That's... Okay.
It'd be kind of complicated. Relationships are complicated. That's why I personally don't like to get involved in them.
So would you guys describe yourselves as uncomplicated? Is that a no? That sounds like a no.
And I just know that that relationships can be complicated. That's why I didn't want a relationship, because I know they could be complicated. You just don't know. Sometimes they would be complicated. If not a lot of times they could be complicated.
Okay, Julian, you're not helping. You're making it worse. It was a funny joke before, Julian. You're taking it too far. Leave him alone.
This is like Bullseye they're playing.
Though I can't help but notice that they're actually, despite what they're saying right now, they're actually playing from the same distance.
Yeah. When I'm saying this game, it looks like Bullseye. They just call it differently. Instead of saying Bullseye, it starts.
Yes. It's base starts.
Okay, yeah, space starts.
Now we get to the treason. Some light treason to round off the day.
Wait, so is it called darts in real life?
I don't know. I know there's a dartboard and they have darts.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's different games you can play on a dartboard, like cricket, for example.
Cricket.
Or 301. Yeah, there's a dart game called Cricket. You have
I
to
mean,
hit a certain sequence of, like, you have to hit specific parts of the board.
There it is. There it is, right there.
surrender to the Dominion. Well, what Bashir did not account for in his analysis is a literal Deus Ex Machina, where the prophets
Like you're going to
saved the
surrender
galaxy.
to the Dominion. Come on.
Also, you don't have to fight. You can just tell Odo to, like, go home and they'll leave. I don't think I believe this analysis. There's no way he has enough information to make that kind of determination. He's talking about centuries in the future.
Might as well surrender. If you don't have enough information, surrender.
No, they are just assumptions. The equations are not going to give you that specific information so far in the future. Yeah, he didn't predict the debris, presumably. He didn't predict the Damar starting a rebellion.
They mentioned that earlier. He said that there was just going to be like a unrest from the Cardassian side and the Cardassian Dominion Alliance breaking up, sort of.
Well, if the Federation surrendered, it wouldn't be so much it breaking down as Cardassia being completely wiped out. It's just dead. Oh, is that the fish? No, I don't think that's the fish. Above Julian. I don't know what that is, actually. But why can't you beat them? What if you have Odo go home?
Go home, Mono.
Use gun on man. Odo, go home. Problem solved.
I really hope that everybody Julian talked to is rubbing this in his face after the Dominion War.
Hey, Julian, remember when you guys insisted we surrender?
It was impossible to beat the Dominion. That's just the facts.
I don't know.
Let me pour you another glass of Romulan ale.
You're out, Mono.
The chief's not feeble-minded. The chief is a clever man. Who's tortured. A lot.
I have to feel like one of the writers, or several of the writers, had something against him.
Against Column or the character?
Either or both.
Then why are you playing Julian?
He's trying to
Okay.
redeem himself.
Julian's having a lovely bit of a mental breakdown here. And next week, we'll get Gul Dukat having a mental breakdown. Also, I distinctly recall that before, Quark
Didn't
was
he
the
already
one
have a mental breakdown?
running around telling people that they were all doomed to die. Yeah, Dukat already had a mental breakdown, but he's going to have another mental breakdown. On the planet with Cisco.
Maybe it just never stopped.
Well, are you ready for the light treason? I don't think this is actually light treason. I think this is very, very heavy treason. This is a lot of treason.
Mm-hmm.
They can't do that, though. Treason's illegal. I mean, Julian, do you want to go and talk to the gods? They're next door. You could just take a shuttle and they'll talk to you. Wait, hallucination breakdown like they're doing on every other episode of The Walking Dead? Is The Walking Dead still going? Are they still making new episodes of The Walking Dead? It's been a long time. What season are they on? They're on season 10, apparently.
Wow.
And they're making season 11.
They can't. Gonna
The
say
final.
tomorrow,
Oh,
but it's-
they say it's the final season that will premiere on August 22nd of this year.
Finally. I think I watched one episode and I was like, this is not worth my time.
I think I stopped in season 3.
I think the CDC episode was the one I saw.
it's tomorrow.
Wasn't that season 1? Let's see, there was the farm, and then they found that there was the town with the dude with the eye patch. And then the lady shot the kid, and then that was... I don't think that was the last episode I watched, but that was close to the end of the season that I watched. Oh, they took his comm badge. Very good. I don't know why the computer won't respond to him. But they took his comm badge. So that's something.
Right.
Why
I'm sorry,
won't the
can even use the Revival combats. You can you?
Yeah, you can use the computer without a comm badge.
Oh, they disabled it, apparently. Somehow.
They just pulled the plug, hit the off switch.
They disabled it.
They said, Siri, do not respond to Julian Bashir.
Sorry, I didn't get that.
Yeah, I don't think they continued that particular plot line in Serena's episode. Or for some reason she has feelings for Jack in this one. But it's never mentioned again. She doesn't seem to care about him at all, really. Oh, look at that painting. The perspective is a little bit off on it, but that's okay. He has a security team, right? It's not just him. Who's that person standing next to Bashir? Is that the chief?
Yeah, I promised to. I promised to count the bottom of tomorrow. I was just kind of a bit excited.
Also, Damar's no secret agent of the Obsidian Order, because there is no Obsidian Order anymore, Damar. That was wiped out by your new friends quite a while ago.
I got spies tomorrow.
Ooh, look at those barrels in the background.
Just in case the Klingons change sides.
Those were silver barrels, though. That's a different kind of barrel. Really? They won't be going to prison for the treason? That's all fine. Yes, but they're going to die valiantly.
They're gonna die. They're gonna die.
Now, would it have been better to actually just surrender to the Dominion? Because what would the Dominion do if they won? They would seize Earth, and they'd have to follow Dominion law. They'd probably just be taxed quite heavily. But I imagine that's probably it, as long as they don't foment rebellion. They'd probably have to get rid of Starfleet. Not allowed to have military ships. But then you get to have so many different Wayuns on Earth. Now, Wayun wouldn't exterminate Earth. That's not his style.
Can't predict the future.
I mean, he did want
I
to
guess
exterminate Earth, but that was only further into the war, when they were still fighting.
I guess you can kind of guess what the future is going to be, but you don't know. In other words, you can't predict it. You can't predict the future.
And he did his best. Oh, is he gonna go win at Dabo now because he has hope?
Yep.
Double down, win at Dabo. Yes, good. There we go. Your chances at winning Dabo are directly linked to your amount of hope. Oh, look at that guy on the right. The guy on the right with like the weird spiky head. We see someone very similar to him in Enterprise as like this high-powered telepath. Let
Oh,
me find a picture
Star
of him.
Trek Enterprise. Speaking
Yeah.
next generation. Okay. And you know the double table.
This guy.
Oh,
This dude. Not quite the same. He's different. But that guy also had like these weird spiky antenna things coming out of his head. But just fewer of them.
And like a double table, um, it's like poker, because with the double you got all the chips, but except that instead of cards they have they have the chips, whereas the regular poker you have cards. So it's like poker's in space. Um, um, Basically, yeah.
All right, they did it. They actually didn't do anything, actually. They almost committed treason, then they didn't. And they didn't provide Starfleet with any strategies. So kind of we're back where we started. But that's okay. Next week, though, next week has some good episodes. Most notably, probably, The Magnificent Ferengi. That's a great episode. The Magnificent Ferengi, Waltz, where Goldukok goes extra crazy, and Who Mourns for Morn. We find out
Oh, hell yeah.
he's just super rich, apparently. And why he's bald. Because in the future, in the 24th century, they wouldn't care. Let's see what's up with TNG next week. TNG Season 6. That's going to be... Oh. Quality of Life with the Exocomps. Then Chain of Command Parts 1 and 2. Where Captain Picard is tortured. And then Ship in a Bottle, which is Moriarty's last episode.
And it's a good Barclay episode, too.
Yeah. He's the one that finds he finds Moriarty in the holodeck. And then we get some lovely existential crises. But that's it. That's next week. And we're done here. Bones for you.
The higher, the